There's going to seem like a bubble, but we don't think it's a bubble because we think it's more like an industrial revolution. So companies looking for the new hard problems to solve are the ones going to float to the top.
Oh, this is coffee.
Nice.
Welcome to this first inaugural Everything Sanity, an experience about AI, content operations, and culture. I must say, Simen, the team has done an amazing job capturing the culture and the spirit of Sanity in this room.
This is like exactly what the Jesus promised, and the team kind of pulled it together. Björn's sculpture over there, amazing.
I think it went like
fantastic.
Jesus Kenya, our marketing leader, said, no, it's not going to be a conference, it's going to be a festival. And Simen and I was like, how much you need? But we're here at Pioneer Works, Simen.
Pioneer, we like that word.
It's actually one of our core values. We are pioneers, is our first value.
Exactly. This is not why we picked this space, but it's kind of a convenient accident.
Sanity, being pioneers captures Sanity, because Sanity was never about CMS. It's never about headless. It isn't even about customizability and a developer platform. And hold on a second. It's an amazing developer platform, and it will continue to be. But those things are really symptoms or enablers.
Yeah, no, we were thinking, we've been doing this for like 8 years now. Mm-hmm. And do you feel we're still pioneering?
Oh, of course we are. Did you see what we launched in May? I think a lot of people haven't even realized what we launched in May.
Exactly.
We keep on shipping.
But the reality is that I feel everyone's part of the kind of Sanity way of thinking are pioneers.
I think they are. I think you in the room here understand how we go beyond, as I said, going beyond this headless and customizability. It's really about putting content as a strategic asset, putting content at the core of the business, not as a tactical afterthought. Whether you're a skate shop here in Brooklyn, or if you're the largest shapewear company on the planet.
So we have some footage here. This is Roald Amundsen, kind of a Norwegian Neil Armstrong. He was the first person on the South Pole. And he was once called an adventurer. Remember what he said?
I do.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Famously, he said, adventure, that's just a result of bad planning. That's like just what happens when you don't plan ahead. And that's kind of the kind of pioneering. He was an explorer, he was a scientist, he was a pioneer. And that's kind of how we see ourselves and how we see you who are using Sanity. You are someone who are preparing, who are building, who are investing to be successful and fast all the time, not just
being prepared is not boring. Mm-hmm. Being prepared is about unleashing velocity and being able to succeed. If you're going to the South Pole, you want to make sure you get it back again, alive, with a little bit of swagger, right?
Exactly. So the investment in being prepared is kind of the essence of this, and the essence of pioneering. And we should talk to some more pioneers today.
Let's invite some pioneers to stage. Who do you want to bring up?
So this first person is someone we have wanted to work with for years, to be honest. He used to run product and tech at Love Holidays, which is an amazing company. We're going to talk more about that later in the CTO session. Mike is here. But now he has joined us as head of product at Sanity, and he is going to come on stage and talk about the content operating system.
Let's get David Arnes to stage. Welcome. Hey, David, it's great to have you here. Thank you for, it hasn't even joined full-time yet, but that's another story. He's definitely a pioneer. David, I think you're one of the first who truly got the content operating system. I think you even understand it better, the vision of the content operating system. You understand it even better than Simen and me. You want to explain to the crowd how you think about it?
Well, I think I Love Holidays implemented not just content operating system, but like business operating system, right? Like everything that you could configure was configured in Sanity, from finance to payments to customer support. And I think the way that I view Sanity is it's essentially an incredibly infinitely scalable database with a UI on top that you can do a lot of really, really special stuff with. And Mike will talk about it, I'm sure, later on. But the way that you can operate that at scale is incredible. And I think that a lot of people kind of look at content as just a website, but really like content is just data, and data can be configurations for applications, for systems, for, you know, like people stuff in businesses. And that's how like I kind of think about the content operating system as a whole in Sanity.
Exactly. So I mean, this spring we launched the Sanity functions, the dashboard, the App SDK, lots of stuff. Partly inspired by the way you were thinking about it. I think a lot of people are still wrapping their heads around it. Why do we need an App SDK? Why don't we just do webhooks? I think that's what you can help us understand today.
Yeah, I think I have a live demo, so hopefully the demo gods will be in my favor. But I think one of the things, we launched a lot of really cool things, right, in May, and hopefully this works. So I think like one of the things, and many of you have saw the like May release, right, and we talked about like the SDK, agent assist functions. I think what I found is a lot of people haven't really seen where they can use it and like how it fits together. And I think one of the things that we've got to do as a better job is like actually show you like how it all hangs together in the content operating system. And so this is an example that's hopefully quite relevant to a lot of you. I'm sure you manage translations or have thought about managing translations, and it's not an easy thing. And so one of the things that we've been sort of looking at is how do we like take each of these components and have that kind of end-to-end flow of using the SDK, the agent assistant functions to generate translations and manage even more things. And so what I've done here is actually I haven't. Pete, the customer solution architect in Sanity, built this as a proof of concept. And I've heard that there was some hackathon yesterday that did something around translations as well, so sorry if I'm stealing your thunder. I'm sure your demo will be significantly better than mine. But this is a very, very simple proof of concept of like an SDK that shows you all of your untranslated documents, and it shows you which ones are fully translated and which ones like you need to then translate. And so content editors can come into this specific view and manage just documents at scale. And we've got batch mode as well, where we can basically turn that on and like start translating. And so this is like the power of the SDK, right? Like you can build these isolated applications that let you manage very specific things in that content operations flow. And I'm going to try and do the demo now and see if it works. But what we can do here is we can set the default language, and this will now create the document in English. I've actually used Claude to generate some dark humor on the headless CMSs. So if you ever do want to read thoughts Claude's written about them, they're quite funny. But now we can actually now start creating these translations with AI. And this uses the agent assist in the background, which I can actually show you what that looks like. In the translations piece, we basically just call like client agent translate, and this will start running through all of the different articles and start translating them. And you can actually see this live in the studio as it's starting to add the translations for that specific article. And so this is all done SDK and agent actions, and it's starting to translate them and then publish them. But what's fun about this now is, like, you know, we go back to this chart and we talk about, like, oh, well, what would you use functions for? Well, functions have lots of different use cases. Like, we can set up alerts, we can do mutations. What I've done in this situation, everyone loves an audio summary, right? And so in this situation, we've used the functions, and I can show you what that looks like. We've actually used the functions here to take the body content and use the 11 Labs API to convert the body content to an audio summary for each one of the different blog posts. And so if I now go actually to the website, you'll see that we've got the my CMS lost its head and so did I, a descent into headless madness. And this has now created the audio summary and attached it onto the document.
Headless CMS would solve all my problems. They lied. Now I'm sitting here at 3 a.m.
And there you go. But we now have it for every single other language as well. This one, which now has actually which has translated it into Spanish. And so I think the thing that we've kind of realized is we need to be better at kind of linking all of these different pieces together for you, and so you can understand how you can use them. One of the goals over the next kind of few months is like showing you actual kind of real use cases that are very valid to like the businesses that you have today, and start being able to kind of manage translations at scale, have different visualizations for your content, and doing all that through the SDK, which then can be deployed onto the studio super quickly, and then kind of use functions to kind of enhance the content on top of that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Exactly. Thank you. That's
fantastic.
I feel like the App SDK to build custom workflows is a very powerful API to kind of build these real-time collaborative things. People ask like, why isn't it just in the studio? Like, why is it separate from the studio?
Well, I think like the studio is very, very good for structured content and managing that. And I think we like the very different use cases that we've seen, and there's a couple of businesses that we've seen kind of use the studio in very crazy ways. They've got their own CRM inside the studio. I think like for me, it's like square peg, round hole sort of situation where you're trying to push things into the studio when actually really you want an isolated application that's doing something very specific, right? And then like when you think about it, you might want external editors just using one very specific surface to edit things or like have a content overview, and being able to do that in like separated apps is a much, much easier way of working than having it in the studio where potentially the primitives or like the flexibility is not quite there, and so you're adding things into the studio which were not meant to be there in the first place.
Exactly. Part of the initial vision of Sanity was like we want Sanity to be structured like the organization is thinking, not the other way around. And of course, this is taking it to a new level because now there's a complete blank slate. We just fix all the hard stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what people end up doing with the SDK, and then like probably sharing it back to Sanity, and then like other people can use what they've actually built and reuse it in other businesses as well, which I think will be really exciting.
I think when people really start to realize what the SDK and the functions can do, you would start seeing Sanity use cases way beyond what you historically would imagine around a CMS. And that's when the content operating system truly comes into play, I think, as an application platform.
Yeah, we keep insisting on the content operating system, while you and Alexi and many other people are like business operating system. It's bigger than content.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some businesses will get there at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you just don't want to compete with Salesforce.
No, we're not building a Salesforce.
Exactly.
That's fantastic, David. Welcome to Sanity, and thank you so much for sharing and presenting.
Thank you for having me.
It's amazing what you can. Maybe I jump back to it. It's amazing what you can do when you start playing with the content operating system.
Yeah, and I think like partly the kind of main release was a lot about, we saw a lot of companies having loads of different studios for these different use cases at different parts of the organization started using Sanity. And then the kind of new things, the dashboard, the App SDK, is a lot about building across, about kind of binding these together and allowing different teams to work independently, but content editors come to kind of a clean house, like you have your house in order in one sense.
Exactly, and I think if people would take some time for this needs to grow on people, that's totally fine. We got a lot of time. We're also in a hurry, but we got a lot of time, and we're building for the long-term future. And for us, this vision of the content operating system was a no-brainer, and we're just seeing people picking it up. It gives an amazing joy. I remember the team asking us, what are people going to build with this? And we said we could imagine probably just 5% of how people would use the content operating system when it fully comes into power.
And to be clear, we're still investing in the super simple version 2. There's still a Sanity you can just vibe up in a second. That's always going to be a generous free plan. There's always going to be an easy on-road.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm also been amazed lately by what our internal teams has built on top of Sanity.
Because there are some amazing things that is being built across now that we can kind of build across all of the different use cases. And here to show us some of that amazing stuff is Carolina and Evan. Yay!
Hey, welcome to stage.
Whoa! We don't have walk-on music, so we just have to do this.
Carolina, you can sit here.
Okay.
Let me jump back again.
Yeah.
You have to move over. Sorry.
Hey, oh yeah, should I move over?
Thank
I was
you.
instructed to sit here, but like...
is it okay?
Carolina,
Yes.
you're an OG
I guess.
Sanity
Apparently.
person.
Yes.
You started in the solution engineering team, and a year or two ago you moved over to the engineering team, and now you're part of the SDK team.
That's correct. I'm not here to talk about the SDK much. I mean, we will talk about the SDK, but we're actually here to talk about something else.
I've been obsessed with the fact that we managed to take all of culture, put it inside a little box, and then talk to it. It feels very, very strange. It's very, very, very new.
Commonly known as?
Commonly known as large language models, or AI, as many would like to have it known. So that's what we've been obsessing sort of about. And I think that, I mean, David just did a fantastic job of showing how this content operation stuff sort of fits together. And
Yeah, I think we're making a really interesting use of it because we would love to maybe have a tool that helps you actually understand the content of your data sets, the substance of it, and I think LLMs are really well suited for that.
yeah, I think that like the content operations, the work that we released with the spring release is about sort of creation. But this is about kind of like, what if you could put an LLM, looks over your shoulder, put it inside the studio, and then it could help you as you work. And if you're using Sanity right, as you just talked about, you're modeling not only your content, but also your business. So when the LLM wakes up, it's kind of like, it knows all of your stuff, right? So that's what we've wanted to do.
Yeah, so we're going to spend a session today actually talking about the agent, which is living in the dashboard here. We're going to see how it makes the most of our content, maybe gives us some insights about our content, and maybe even make something new.
Yeah, so I'm just going to, again, here we are running, someone from Anthropic had signed up to sort of come, we're running, we're like, you talked about Amundsen being super well prepared. This is a live demo, it's running on staging, it's running on Sonnet 4.5, which launched yesterday. Yeah. So, and it's a stochastic system.
You are on an adventure.
Yeah, so as we all know, there's no, like, adventure without risk is Disneyland. So there was like almost not a real risk of dying, so we'll see how this actually goes. When you flip into sort of this, there's a new feature on the dashboard where you can talk to a thing. So we need to actually scope sort of this, so we need to show the agent what we want to sort of talk about. So here we can see that it knows where we actually are. And my wife is the editor of the website of the city of Oslo. And I asked her, like, what's the simplest thing that you do most often with LLMs? And she was like, rewrite titles. She gets sent articles from people, and she's like, the titles are often bad. It's the simplest thing that I often do. So that's what we're going to ask it to sort of do. And we're going to see, have a look at our recent blog titles. Do any of them need punching up? Remember who the audience is. So it goes up and looks at them, and then it does the same thing every single time. It loves Knut's reference to Papa Roach. It's like cut style components into
like
pieces.
10 times, every time.
Yeah. So it does this every single time. We managed to get this story on Hacker News 3 times in 1.5 weeks. So it's a good title, and it gets that. And there's like, stop losing sales to content chaos. It's like, it's not great, right? And then internationalization is more than translating. Yeah, sure. Engineer's Guide to Content Operations. SEO for AI, evolving from web pages to the content lake. And it's like buzzwordy, AI SEO, reconsider. I'm like, okay, fix the AI one.
Yeah, moment of truth. Is it any good at writing?
Yeah. So here it knows your schema, and knows what all the documents look like. If it doesn't know the exact shape of the document that it's reading to, it will go off and look up the shape of it, and then let's see if it can do it.
Stopped using please.
No, fix the AI one. In my nervousness, I've been like, here, it did the right one. From crawlers to embeddings, the new SEO stack. I think it failed, but it's again, you can't get this right every single time. Nice. So this is like running this on easy mode.
Yeah, I can see why it's still better than a search, for example. It like knows our data set. It's able to sort of hone in on those particular things, even if we didn't give exact wording, right? It was just able to kind of get our tone of language, the kind of vibe that we have, because it's reading that from our data set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing to sort of try is to give it something really, really hard. And see if it do really hard sort of work, really difficult work. So the next thing that we want it to do is that we want it to look at how many feedback documents we have.
Do you need to change your context, or are you good?
No, it's fine.
Perfect.
So here we're asking, so in our documentation, on every single story, there's a thumbs down and a thumbs up, and you can leave a sort of comment. And the question is, how many of these documents do we have? And just a second, and it will go and look. And here, it's actually running Grok. It's like it knows how Grok works. It's running queries in the background. So we have 21,704 of these. And it's become pretty easy for companies to gather a lot of context, or a lot of data about the processes that they have. But it's still very difficult to analyze it. So the question is, can we then ask for this to do something really difficult, like make a highly detailed analysis of the feedback on our documentation since 2024, and we can ask it to start going, and then see what it actually does.
And this is because it's just more feedback than any human we would want any of our employees to do, but also that any human could just go through. So it's going to read all of it and just get us like the high level insights, right? Something that we could
just
take
a second
on.
might be overselling it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not just for a second. Yeah, it's
a lot of documents.
It's actually doing it's finding the documents from the beginning of 2024 and it's doing a fan out and it's actually summarizing all of them.
Because now it's basically doing deep thinking.
It's doing like deep thinking on that specific set. So it's looking at all of the documents, summarizing them recursively, and then we need to come back in a little while.
Is this what we call research mode in it? Is that what
It's sometimes it will actually. Now it was very clear, but sometimes it will ask, like, do you really want me to spend time on going off and looking at sort of this?
Right.
So we need to do something else.
I think just a second is kind of AI version of a progress bar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I'm
all
doing.
made up.
It's all like
I'm doing stuff. So we need to actually do something while it's doing this. So I think that we should go here and then we should ask for something else.
I think something that a lot of our marketing team does, for example, is does research on the internet, right? They want to sort of inform their work with what's happening online. So the bot can also look up things online.
Yeah, so very often doing editorial work is combining some external data source with some internal documents. You're kind of like, what are our competitors doing? Does our competitive landing page for product X resonate with what people are saying on sort of Reddit right now? So what we can do here is that we can say, what's the JavaScript internet talking about right now? So like just go off and have a look. It's like, I'll search JavaScript discussions and trends.
Poking
goes
around
off.
search trends.
Has a look. It's poking.
Okay.
It's major trends for 2025. TypeScript is becoming mandatory. WebAssembly integration. React versus Angular versus Vue. People are still talking about this. And then so it's a classic stuff, right? So you can then.
Yeah. How does this relate to us?
Yeah. So how does this relate to us? So that then we of course have our changelog, internal and external facing stuff in these documents, so we can then ask for it to go look at what we actually shipped, and then be like, what stories should we write that would appeal to people with the discussions that they're having right now? So you can then do these things where you combine the documents that we have with what external people are writing and sort of doing in a simple conversational way.
And these are pretty technical documents. They're about React compiler and portable text improvements.
While the JavaScript world debates frameworks, we've been shipping features that actually matter. It's
true, that's
pretty
spot
good.
on.
It's pretty good. So real-time collaboration, developer experience that doesn't suck, serverless first features, why this matters. So this again shows how you can then combine these different data sources and just get more work done. So this
I think
is
what everybody wonders now is that is Nana Banana involved? Is that
there is
already?
So that's the thing that we managed to get shipped yesterday also. So we
it is right.
So we can go here and this is also available in the Agent Actions API now. So here we have this hall actually, and here we have let's see the. It's interesting because we have to. So here we're in a story about sort of about this event, and then I don't know. We can have this picture be of.
Maybe we can just put in some afternoon light in there.
Take the
like
main
a nice
image. Take and fill it with the glorious evening sunshine. Okay. Is that approximately the right?
We can do,
Exactly. We can do that. So, of course, the use for this is starting to become good enough that if you have some kind of product, you can make the variants. So you can make the blue version and the pink version and have the product be in Paris and in London or wherever. Yeah, here it's sort of doing this. The fact that this is available as an agent action also means you can combine it with functions, make it a part of pipelines.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we have like a beautiful.
You just fixed it.
That was beautiful.
So no, come on. We're in the next tab, and here we're asking exactly the same thing. And it's conducted a comprehensive analysis. And the thing that the bot isn't factoring in here is that happy people don't leave a lot of documentation feedback. So it is quite negative because that's it's a matter of.
We take that.
So we have like this. Why the hell isn't there a description option for field groups? This tutorial is in need of a fine-tooth comb. All quick start guides, sarcastically, are the same and explain nothing. And then, yeah, so it goes through what we should sort of be doing to fix our documentation.
It's like Hacker News, that stuff.
Document level performance, top performers, yeah, this stuff is great, and this stuff needs immediate attention. And this, I think, is quite sort of useful, that you can get these reports out. It usually takes like 5 minutes, and then you get these reports of large content collections out.
And when it's working like that, it could both combine your content sources and also search on the web. That could be part of this research, right?
In the future, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Before it goes GA, probably, yeah. But not right now. But thanks for asking.
But speaking of going GA, actually,
yeah.
now is maybe a good time to
now is a good sort of time, because so this is the agent. So it lives in the dashboard, can work across studios. Before it goes GA, it will be able to handle releases, work in media libraries across Canvas, understand if you're describing what your business does in the schemas, it will understand that too, which is a really attractive proposition. It knows kind of what our organization does just from looking at the schema. And yeah.
Yeah, we'd love for people to try it. So
yeah.
we could get a QR code on screen, please.
So it's actually, if you're wondering when you can try this, the answer to that is you can try this now. Yes. Because it's in a preview, it's going into preview now, and then it's going to be, we don't know when it's going to be launched, but we're hoping to launch it soon. And
try it out. Yeah. We want feedback.
What we really want for people to sort of do is to share it with people they work with in editorial, and then come to the Discord and yell at us in the agent channel about what they would like for it to sort of do. That would be super useful for us.
This limited release stuff is only about setting the right expectations.
Yeah, it's about it's us figuring out what you think that this thing should be sort of doing. And it can patch documents, it can translate, it can do these reports, it can search the web. There's quite a few things that it can already do. There's loads more stuff planned.
Do you need to do a lot of stuff up ahead to kind of make your kind of existing code work with this?
You have to just make sure your schemas are deployed, and that's it. Yeah.
And mostly if you recently deployed that, you're already
if you're working on dashboard, you're usually in a good spot already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we just give a shout out to the team who made this possible?
Yeah.
Some of them are here today.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Amazing work.
We're looking at
one of them sitting right there, Rusty. Awesome work.
Cool. I think that brings us. Does that bring us to the next segment?
It brings us to things that are not available right now.
Yeah, exactly.
For you to try out.
Yeah.
But we would love to show you and again get feedback on if we could get our demo screen back up.
So your App SDK
could have been the end. I think it would be a good demo if that was the end.
No, there's more. There's more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that should I do it in the screen? I would love to get from our insights here is maybe an SDK app, right? I would love to have our insights about the documentation we need to work on, always up to date and always sort of with a way for people to be able to edit the documentation that they need to work on. It's highlighted, it's a really easy interface, which we can do with an SDK app, which, the code would look something like this, but I've heard that there's more things I can do, actually.
Yeah, so the thing is that in sort of 2025, it's always like, can you just ask for it? Just ask for it.
So you're asking me to vibe code.
Yeah, I'm asking you to vibe code. I'm asking if can this thing also vibe code is what the question is.
Okay, vibe code a go-go.
Yeah, so.
Let's see. So I've added a prompt here to ask me to make an app for this. So it's also going to take a little bit, but it's going to display articles ranked by negative feedbacks in the last 2 months, and it will show me the article titles and the amount of feedback per article. And the idea being that this is an easier interface for like a contractor, someone who's not in the studio every day.
I don't know, this is going to take like at least another 60 seconds, which is the great thing about showing AI stuff live, because the value of the thing that it's doing is very high, but it still takes 60 seconds where nothing happens.
But it's kind of funny, like when you ask AI not to make a plan, it's like, it will take about 8 weeks. And then you're like, can you do it now? Yeah.
It's done in 30 seconds. But it still takes those in 30 seconds.
But it's actually now writing the code for us live.
It's actually now writing the code, which is why...
Lucky thing we made this SDK app. Lucky thing we made this app SDK.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about the models are so good at programming that if there's a limited domain, which is what these SDK apps are, they have an API that's easy to understand, it's not that wide. Like putting together an application that can do a specific thing and where you can iterate on that is not an impossible thing to do.
When I first saw this, I realized like I will make App SDK apps for a thing I want to do right now and then never use it again. Like sometimes I'll just do a workflow. I'm going to do this thing. Can you make a UI for me? And like forget.
Yeah, because this is something that we are thinking of making available for editorial teams also.
Exactly.
So that if you need, this is like, because when I heard of this first from the PM that's working on it, from John, I was like, oh, it's a developer tool, and said, why would we do that? And then he was like, no, it's for editorial teams.
Yeah.
Because think of it, you could do a lot of useful stuff without changing your actual schema, without changing the underlying content model. And that's what the App SDK can help you do. And now if you can have your editorial team use that, build apps and make changes to it, then code is the new no-code.
Yeah.
We were at a bit of advantage too, I think, because Sanity's always been code first. I feel like the LLMs already knew a lot about. Oh, here it comes. They knew a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
It is just made by a bot here. Coming to you sometime.
I mean, we have, this can go on for sort of longer, but there is a lot of waiting. But I can tell what the next steps are, because because the next thing that's in the script is that we actually ask it to add a button.
Do you want to iterate on the code?
Let's do it.
Do we have time?
Let's take one.
Okay, great.
I don't see the person who was supposed to give
No
us
one's
time,
yelled at
so
us.
No one's
until
doing
we see
it
someone do like
with
this.
their hands. Yeah.
All right, I've added another. Again, let's take a little bit so we
Yeah.
can talk on.
This is going to be faster?
Yeah, this will be a
So-
bit faster, but it's iterating on the code, so it's going to add a new feature. I've made a feature request.
What are you doing here?
Now we have the documentation articles ranked by how much complaints they're getting. So the next thing we want to do is add a button so that we can fix them, which would be a useful thing to have.
And we're making a bit of a feedback loop too, because the button that will fix it will feed this article back
Yes.
into our bot. We'll
Yes.
paste it, and then the bot itself will take it. I should say agent. I'm so sorry. The agent will take us to the place where we can make the fixes.
Exactly.
So a couple of minutes and a click, we could fix the query. I thought the query cheat sheet was good already, but it seems like we have some
Yeah, I
negative
think that's my
feedback around it.
favorite piece of documentation.
It's
But-
very popular, so it's going to be overrepresented.
Oh.
It's confirmation
That's the
bias. It's going to have a lot of
popular thing.
holes in its wings.
You can be like, please rank them by how much traffic they get also.
But as I was saying a bit before, I think the LLMs were pretty well trained on Sanity. Like they know Grok pretty well. They know a lot of they know schemas really well, because it's always just been in the public.
That's been kind of like the gift here of working with large language models in the Sanity context, is because it's a product that's been installed by several 100,000 people, and that very many third parties have written a sort about. So the models, they know Grok, they know how schemas work, they know how. So you only need to be like here.
We got it.
Happened.
Here we
so
go.
I click this.
So
it
you-
should go to my paste, and if I paste here, there
Wow.
it goes. I can then just feed it back, and then able to
So
work in my.
you don't need to do very much to get an LLM to write really accurate Grok. You just need to show it a little cheat sheet and then ask it to do stuff, and then give it a blurry version of the schema, and then it's like, I got this.
And to
So
be
it's-
fair,
yeah.
the App SDK is so new that it has to have all
It
of the
has to have all
documentation.
of the stuff because there's nothing about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so here it's actually fixing it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, this is what you should do to fix this article. And then it goes, because then it looks at the article that there's something wrong with. It goes off and does Grok for the feedback, puts the feedback into the prompt, searches for other things that you can use to fix it, can do web search also, and then it suggests a solve, which is really nice.
I think it's amazing. And imagine staging these changes in a release.
Exactly.
And then you can go and review them.
Yeah.
So you can have a human in the loop. And then
So there's
you
going
can
to be like
publish.
the next things we're going to be working on here is having it be able to work with releases, and having it be able to work with sets, because a lot of editorial work is kind of like, oh, we need to change BC to BCE without nuking all of the British Columbia references. How do we do that? And that's like looking at like 1,500 things. It takes someone 3 weeks, but it's trivial work for an LLM to do even in parallel. And if we can do that like safely in a contained way, where this stuff is going to be like really useful when we can land that part of the functionality too.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for showing. So
Amazing.
App SDK, that will be a function coming later, but the agent in your mailbox, you can start playing, testing it out, and give us feedback. Thank you, Evan and Carolina. Simen, somebody says I'm very childish, but I want to take a selfie with you and the audience.
It's for your mom.
We can say, I don't know.
Yay!
Hey!
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. Whew, that was cool to see what you could build on top of Sanity. But then the question a lot of people are asking us, and some people are asking themselves, To what degree is all this AI stuff just a bubble?
Exactly. Like right now, there's a lot of talk about like vibe coding and like everything is so fast and what's worth anything anymore. And we feel, of course, there's going to be a lot of carnage for a while now. Because if you can build your company in like a fortnight, vibe coding, of course, that's indefensible. That company is going to be copied in a weekend.
We see a lot of companies launching and even have great traction on revenue, and then see 7 other competitors building the same thing. And if it's too easy, gravity is gonna come to call those industries, I think.
It's going to be a race to the bottom in terms of pricing. And we also see, sometimes you see, oh, I need those services, but actually I can do the same thing myself for my company. I don't actually need to buy the services. So there's going to seem like a bubble. We don't think it's a bubble because we think it's more like an industrial revolution. And the first one also came in kind of 2 acts. And in the first act, you basically mechanize labor. You do the same things that you used to do, just faster and cheaper. And actually, back in the day, that led to kind of a recession. It was the second revolution. So this space here is 1860s, built for the Pioneer Ironworks.
Pioneer Ironworks was a company. They didn't make textile. They didn't make deck chairs or cups. They were making railroad tracks, and they were making parts to steam engines and highways, the real transformational stuff.
Yeah, the second revolution stuff, right? The stuff that rewired the global economy, that kind of constructed the global economy of transportation and telegraphs and those kinds of things. That was the new hard, when like making ceramic cups becomes easy.
So if we use that analogy, if you think about when creating code or creating text and images, all of that is becoming very easy. What's then the new hard thing?
Yeah, we're thinking it's leadership, right? Like it's leadership on every level, meaning kind of what is important to pursue, how to pursue it, the context and the kind of feedback loops, and that's why we're so excited about Sean Grove's talk that's coming up. He coined the term specifications are the new code.
Exactly.
Kind of goes towards that kind of second revolution thinking.
Exactly. I think when context and specification, that's also what we're trying to do with Sanity, put ourselves in the position of that second part of the industrial revolution in AI terms.
Yeah, we're not building Sanity for the vibe coding era. We are thinking of Sanity as kind of this leadership tool. Let's say content management turns into a kind of context management where we're providing the context and having the feedback loops, the workflows to kind of drive the AI. That's where we find ourselves, where we are placing ourselves, and where we are planning to kind of be part of that second revolution, the actually valuable.
Exactly.
So companies looking for the new hard problems to solve are the ones going to float to the top.
That's going to be the differentiator in the future, we believe, and that's what we're here to support.
Exactly. So I guess like welcome to the dawn of the second AI revolution.
Thank you.